Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. I'm Dylan. Joining me as always is Ben.
Hello.
And
Me.
God, no. Is that going to be the
Here.
whole episode?
Well, no, not the whole episode.
um, and this week we're taking a look at a movie I have never seen, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This is definitely the one that I started at some point and got extremely bored of and turned it off or fell asleep. So,
What?
yes.
Oh, how? Literally, the first the opening credits are enough to be entertaining.
Oh, and I fell for them like a fool. I legit was on like Peacock and I was like, why are there fucking like Norwegian, Swedish subtitles on right now? Like, and I was like, there's nothing on. And then I was like, I wasn't paying attention because I was like sewing something while I was like watching the movie at the start, and then I like looked at one point and the subtitles were like talking about a fucking moose bite and shit. And I was like, oh, it's a fucking joke, okay? Because I read the first,
And then it goes through the entire thing, and then it switches to being like all like very Mexican based, and then all of a sudden they're just talking about llamas.
yes, yeah, they're like, oh, that guy got fired, and then then it goes into like all the credits are talking about moose, like moose handler, moose trainer, and then the next one they're like, okay, those guys also got fired, so we hired another team to do it in a rush, and it's like,
It was way more expensive, and it's like a
oh,
seizure-inducing,
dude, yeah,
flashing red and orange.
it's like talking about Peruvian llamas, Mexican llamas.
Ah,
It was crazy. But yeah, I was excited to watch it though, because I don't think I gave it a fair shot the first time I watched it. I think I want to say I got tired, and I was just like, all right, I'm not gonna watch it. But Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a 1975 parody comedy film from the Monty Python troupe, directed by Terry Gilliam and Terry Jones. Um, Written by Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam, Terry Jones, Michael Palin, uncredited Thomas Mallory. And then it stars all of those guys in multiple roles. That was one of my favorite bits in the movie, was when you would see something happen or like they'd get to a point and it'd be like the camera's like panned over so you only see four of them and you're like, okay, whatever character they're about to meet is going to be the fifth guy that's not there. Like what is it? Tim the like it what is his fucking name? Tim the
oh,
Enchanter.
Tim the Enchanter?
Yes,
Yes.
like they're up on they all went up the mountain, but then the shot only shows the four of them, and then I'm like, okay, so John Cleese is gonna be Tim the Enchanter because he's
the only
framed
one
out.
yeah.
Or when they do the holy grenade or whatever, and like half of them are facing the other direction. You're like, okay, well they're about to come be the fucking monks. But it currently sits at a it currently sits at an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, making it the 159th top rated movie, which is kind of crazy in my opinion as like just a pure comedy. Like that's pretty impressive. And then on Letterboxd it is a 4.1 out of 5. So literally the same between the two. Um, Ben, you had seen this. I think you said you've watched it once before.
Yeah, so we watched this in high school.
Like in high school, high school?
Senior year of high school. After we did like a whole lesson on King Arthur and the all of kind of the stories. In fact, the best memory I have of reading those is the fact that one day we had a substitute teacher who pronounced Sir Lancelot as Sir Lunchalot, and we kept that joke going the entirety of our senior year of high school English
That
class.
sounds about right. Yeah.
So yeah, anytime we got hungry, it was like, oh shit, man, I think it's time for sir lunch a lot. Um, yeah, so that was just classic flub by a substitute teacher that just lived on for forever. But then after we finished the thing, the lesson or the whatever, um, we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and I think it was one of my English teacher's like favorite movies, so he was excited about it because I know he was one of the chaperones for like the senior trip to New York, and he got super excited the one year they went that they picked Spam
Spam
a
a
Lot
lot. Yeah.
to go to. And I think it was like maybe either the year it opened or pretty close to. Um, but yeah, so we watched this in high school, so I was very familiar. Um, I enjoyed it for sure in high school, but rewatching it, it's still just. Remember how I said I love when shit is just off the walls? I enjoy that
Yes.
type of
Yes.
absurdist comedy. 100% this is it. Uh, it's just batshit goofy, and I love it. And it feels like a movie like that could be made today by just a group of friends.
I feel like to counter that, I think it could be made today. I don't think it would though. I like I don't know the last time we've talked about this, but I don't know the last time that I've just seen like a pure comedy movie.
I don't know. I feel like this is a movie akin to like a Let's Start a Cult, like Stavros
Mm.
Kilos did, which is like it's not super high budget, but imagine if there were uh like an improv. This to me is like if you got like 15 or so people from like UCB
Mm-hmm.
or
The
what's the
National
Chicago
Lampoon,
one? Yeah, similar to like the
Second
Lampoon,
City.
Second City, one of those things, and you're like, hey guys, here's a check for this amount of money. It's low budget, but go ahead, just make a movie for this and whatever. This is what you would get. It's just
I think
a silly off the walls like I can only imagine being in the writer's room is they're like, we should have him ride up on a horse. No. We should have him ride up with someone pretending to ride a horse and just have like the fully coconuts that they're clicking together as they ride up. Like I just the off the wall shit. Okay, who should be guarding the cave? Oh, a rabbit. A rabid demon rabbit.
um I will say I looked at some of the like letterbox reviews and I like one of the highest ones is like the first shit post in history. And then another one was like this silly nonsensical quotable piece of art is actually the 70s version of Vine. And I'm like, "You know what? I can see that." Like I think I don't know if I was like in love with this movie. Like I feel like people love Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't know if I was to that point. I really enjoyed it, and to the point of like I said, like I feel like we don't get to see just many pure comedies anymore. Like there there was no drama really in this one. Like I feel like a lot of comedies nowadays you have to have like some sort of element of like either horror or drama or like something to like tie that together. But this one is just literally and for better or worse, I feel like this reminds me of like you're saying, it's like an improv sketch comedy thing. So it's like Mad TV, SNL, I mean, the Monty Python show, where it's literally like Mr. Show. Like
The
it's
whitest
just
kids. This feels
yeah,
like the whitest kids you know. This is
yeah.
like their favorite thing of all time.
There's this overarching plot that is strewn together by small little sketches. Like especially when it breaks into each individual night's story
Night Story.
and it's I'm
Yeah.
like I feel like they sat down and were like, "All right, here's this funny sketch. Now, how do we tie this together in this whole grand scheme? And I
And
love that
Sir
they're
Lancelot goes through and kills everyone in the town. And then when he finds the maiden who's in trouble, he realizes it's a dude and is disappointed in himself.
and I love the meta of the whole thing where at certain points they break the fourth wall just to like poke fun at the stories themselves. Like
Oh,
with
yeah.
God, what is his fucking name? Um
I love just the things of like oh my god, I'm trying to remember what
um
the
like Galadriel or whatever his name, Galahad
yeah.
the pure, and he goes to the castle where it's all the like young women who are like horny as hell, and then they like she looks at the fourth wall, she's like, they almost cut this bit, and then everyone's like, get on with it, at least our bit wasn't pussy jokes, at least like oh my fucking god. Like yeah, and even like later in the movie they go back to that bit where they're like, all right, and keep going. um
Yeah, this movie to me is so it's so quotable.
I can definitely, yes, there is a lot, like there's having not ever seen the movie, there's
Oh,
things
I'm
in
sure you've
this,
definitely heard it. 'Tis only a
but
flesh wound.
yes, the tis only a scratch or whatever, it's just
Yeah.
a flesh wound. Yes, I've heard, and I've seen like, shirts or whatever of the dude that's he's just nubbins. Um, I have seen that or knew of that. I feel like I made it, or I think I made it to the witch bit because I kind of remember that. But uh, watching through the whole thing now was a lot better, and I really appreciate I really appreciate all the swallow jokes throughout the entire
I
movie.
love when they're on the bridge. Finally,
Like,
it's like when he asks the questions, and it's just like, what is your quest to seek the Holy Grail? What is your favorite color? Blue. Go on. Oh, off you go. Sir Robin steps up. What is your quest? Seek the Holy Grail. What's the captain of Assyria? No, I don't know that. Just goes over. Galahad. What's your favorite color? Blue. Wait, no, yeah. Ah! And then when he asks Arthur, and he goes, "What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow?" What do you mean, an African swallow or a European swallow? Well, I don't know that. How do you know so much about swallows? Well, you have to know these things when you're a king. Just leading back to the whole conversation of the coconut bit at the
yes.
beginning of the
Oh my
movie.
god. The coconut bit is ridiculous. Also, the whole like French like guys on the castle, like that I feel like is so iconic that I've never seen this movie, but I know those little bits where they're like peeking over the, like, I've fought in your general direction. um oh man.
Yeah. No, this was just such a like I said, it's one of those it's completely off the walls. It's utterly ridiculous. But I find it fun and enjoyable, and like I said, it feels like a group of friends were just like, "Hey, someone gave us this money to make a it's Broken Lizard."
Okay. Yeah, that's Super Troopers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, only if they did more sketch stuff throughout the movies.
Yeah, which is it is interesting, and I feel like maybe that's part of the reason why I wasn't crazy about it, is that it is just kind of like sketch after sketch after sketch, it feels like, rather than like, I feel like typically when you watch a comedy movie or even fucking like, I don't know, Family Guy or something, like you have like your bits where you like go and then you get into this like rut of a joke and run its course and then come back. But I feel like this movie was definitely so parsed out where it's not necessarily like leading one thing into another. It was kind of like, and scene, and scene, and
I get
like
that.
it,
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily. I mean,
Yeah,
it
we're gonna cut away
is.
from the main story and do the story of Sir Lancelot,
Yeah,
and now we're going to do the story of Sir Robin.
which don't necessarily matter because they're just kind of
Yeah,
like no one finds the grail. They don't ever find the grail.
yeah,
they end up
no,
just getting arrested at the end of the movie.
which felt like such a it yeah, it felt like such a Brooks thing to just at the end be like, and they're all arrested by the police, breaking the fourth wall. Completely ridiculous. Uh,
And I like sat there for a moment because I was like, "Is is this the end?" I just get black screen and like some piano music, and I was like,
yep.
and then it was like next movie. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I was expecting something else, a little closure, but uh, yeah, it was a good time though. It's fun, and I think we kind of talked about this maybe I think in producers or top secret, but it's fun to watch a movie where you can kind of like turn off your brain a little bit, like and just sit there and you're more just make me laugh, you know?
Just enjoy the absurdity.
Yeah.
Just
I think part of the fun of this movie is like just trying to see where it's gonna go, you know? Like you're saying, you like it off the rails and it's like, all right, where are we going next? You know?
or just the way that they resolve it of like, oh yeah, they're attacked by the legendary beast. They're trying to run away, and actually, yeah, the animator died, so that's it. The end. The black beast dies, and they're able to get out. It's just like what? what, are, what are we doing here?
um, I never realized that Terry Gilliam was a part of Monty Python, because like I know him of like Brazil, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 12 Monkeys, The Brothers Grimm, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Like I know him from like his more artistic
Serious.
movies.
Yeah.
His more like serious movies. And then when I was watching this, and I was like, "Wait, didn't Terry Gilliam direct this?" And I was like, started to like do a little research, and I was like, "Oh, he did. He was in it. He was like a member of Monty Python." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Because he's like the bridge keeper, I think, isn't he?
He has quite a few. Yes, he's the bridge keeper. He's one of the knights. He's also Arthur's servant.
The coconut. I will say I feel like they kind of went away from those types of bits, but the coconut bit with the swallows at the beginning and the like peasants who are like super political were like two of the funniest
Look at
things to
him.
me.
He's oppressing me.
Look at the system in
I
work.
I also love the part where he's like he's make sure the prince doesn't leave this room until I come get him.
Oh my
Not to leave the
god.
room, even if you come and get him. No, no, until I come get him. Until you come and get him. We're not to enter the room. No, you stay and make sure he doesn't leave. And you'll come and get him. Right. We don't need to do anything apart from just stopping him from entering the room. No, leaving the room. Leaving the room. Yes. All right. Right. If you look, it's quite simple. You stay here, make sure he doesn't leave. Oh, right. Right. Can he leave the room with us? No, keep him here. And they just go back and forth and back. It's just
That's
one of those things where it's just like, this is ridiculous and it's going on too long, which
yes.
also just makes it
More
still
fun.
funny to
Yeah,
me.
more funny. Yeah. That was the bit where I was like, this feels like an SNL or like this feels like primetime sketch comedy show like that
Yes.
one. It's like, okay, they're still going.
Yeah. No, even just like I said, the yeah.
The
Who's that?
son
Who's
trying to
that?
do the musical numbers.
Must be the king. Why? He hasn't got shit all over him. Oh yeah, when the prince is just every time he tries to break into song.
No, not here.
No.
Stop.
No.
I feel like all of the people who like love this movie are gonna do the Knights of Knee thing. Like that is like the one thing that when people like do Monty Python stuff, they're always like, "Nee." My God,
I can't remember if it's Cam or Forrest, but one of them absolutely fucking hates it.
good. We'll say that to him.
No, I
Whoa.
just
I'm looking at like trivia. It says Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Genesis all contributed to the movie's budget. Funds earned by Pink Floyd's album The Dark Side of the Moon went towards funding the movie. The band were such fans of the show, they would halt recording sessions just to watch Flying Circus.
I love seeing that the reason they did the whole coconut bit was that it was too expensive for them to get horses.
That's what I thought. I was like, and then that's why I feel like when they did the like Tim the Enchanter thing, and he's like just blowing up shit. They're like, I was like, probably just because they got pyrotechnics for like cheap or some shit, and they're like gonna just do all these stupid explosions for fun. Like that one feels like a we're splurging on the budget part, and then the horse part. Because I was like, when when they're first at that castle, the French and the French castle, and they're like throwing the animals at them, and there's like a live duck, or then like later in the movie you see the rabbit. I'm like, okay, well they probably didn't have the money for like certain animals and stuff, so it's like, all right, well, let's do this animal and this animal, the cheap handling ones.
Sir Michael Palin topped the number of characters. He played 12 characters in the movie.
Yeah. It says during the witch hunt scene, Eric Idle bares his teeth and bites down on the blade of the scythe he is holding. This was not scripted. Idle was actually about to burst out laughing and bit his scythe to stifle the laughter, so not to spoil the take. He can be seen shaking slightly, trying to keep his laughter under control. Sir Michael Palin can be seen hiding laughter at the same time as well, while earlier John Cleese quickly turns his head to one side just before the shot cuts, though not too quickly enough to hide that he's broken characters grinning broadly. All three comment on each other's corpsing on the DVD commentary. I think that's. I mean, God, I would love to see a DVD cut. Maybe one exists with bloopers of this. They may not exist because of like how cheap it was at the time, but like, I would love to see the like the
It's the full reel.
yeah, because like that's the best part to me when you watch one of those sketch comedy shows or an improv show
Oh yeah.
is when it's so funny that you get the other person to break character and crack up. Like that's the
Yeah.
best in SNL is like once the person on there starts cracking up and can't get back, you're like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah. It's one of the ones I rewatched recently that I watched the clip of was like Kevin Hart hosting, and it was one of those ones where it was like Bobby Moynihan and
I feel like
ooh,
Bobby always just tried to get you to break.
but it wasn't him who got him to break. It was Bobby Moynihan and wow, I can't remember which. Maybe it was Cecily Strong, where they played like the two shitty employees who always got fired from different stores, and then they would just rail on all the other employees.
Oh yes, okay.
So it's Kevin Hart, and he does that. He's like, they get through the whole thing, and Kevin Hart's like, no, 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 there's not one of you on fire, except for Carl. You're old and you're no good to me. And it's Tim
No,
Robinson,
yes,
and
yeah,
like
that's
he like creaks in and he goes, oh, okay, And Kevin Hart just loses it.
Wasn't that like his last sketch on SNL or
I think
something?
it was one of them. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing something about that. Like, um, the one I always think of is Kate McKinnon and Ryan
Oh, the
Gosling.
alien
They yeah,
invasion.
he,
Yeah.
he can't keep it together at all.
Yeah. I think of that one, or I think of Bill Hader the first time they did the Californians.
Oh my god, that
The first
California
time he
is a great
hears,
one.
"What are you doing here?" And you cut to Bill Hader, and he's like dying. Him and Kristen Wiig are both looking at each other like, "What the fuck do we do?" Or my other favorite Bill Hader break is when he plays Horace, the old man, and Cecily Strong is like his girlfriend or wife, and it's like it's like the perfect time. So they try to have sex in the middle of the girls' night or whatever, and he's on like the mobile scooter, and he can't control it, so he's just backing into people. It's the most ridiculous thing. It's not funny just from the scene. It's just funny because Bill Hader's completely lost. He's completely running in. He's backing into someone, and he tells the story. It's like, I'm literally backing in, and then I hear someone, and I hear poor Melissa Villaseñor. It's just like, that's me. You're running into me. It's just, those are the things that I'm like, that's the best one.
I'm wa- I'm watching the clip right now.
The one of Bill Hader
Uh,
with him backing
yeah,
around. Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
they're all cracking up. Yeah, I would just love to see a blooper cut of this movie though, because I feel like that would be hilarious. Because I'm sure there's a lot that was not put into the movie.
Oh God, I am absolutely sure.
Like I feel like when you have, I mean, maybe because they've been on TV and stuff, so they kind of know what can and can't
Yeah.
pass. But I still feel like when you get a group of comedians together, it's, I think it's kind of like a rite of passage to you know break your break your fellow
Oh,
comedians
yeah.
and
And I think, let's be honest,
push it.
there's at least one or two people in every one of those things that is their goal on set.
Yeah.
They are trying to get someone to break. Yeah, I this movie to me is just it's rewatchable and it's very quotable. It's just one of those that I think is. But what's weird is I've seen it and I love it, and I've never I've never pushed to go watch their other movies. I feel like I should, but
What's the next highest rated one though? Is it
probably Life of
Life of
Brian,
Brian? That's a 8 out of 10.
which I think they've all said that uh that Life of Brian is like their favorite.
Uh, um, Flying Circus was the show, right? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Uh, the show has an 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Meaning of Life is a 7.5. Um, I was looking at on the Wikipedia page. So when it came out, it grossed more than any other British film screened in the U.S. that year. Um, but it has since been considered one of the greatest comedy films of all time. In the U.S., it was selected in 2011 as the second best comedy of all time in an ABC special, Best Film: The Greatest Movies of Our Time, behind Airplane. And then in the UK, readers of Total Film ranked it as the fifth greatest comedy of all time. And a similar poll of Channel 4 viewers in 2006 placed it as sixth. I'd be interested to know what they ranked higher.
I don't know, but I do
Oh,
think this
well,
one I would take and put back into uh my top spoof movies draft.
mm, that's a good one. Um, so the Channel 4 poll, Life of Brian came in at number one. And the BBC one also Life of Brian.
Okay.
So uh, the BBC was Life of Brian, Airplane, With Nail and I, and There's Something About Mary. Is number 4, and then Holy Grail's number 5. American Pie, Groundhog Day, Some Like It Hot, Blazing Saddles, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Uh, the Channel 4 one is a little bit more my speed, I feel like. Life of Brian, Airplane, Shaun of the Dead, Austin Powers 1, South Park Bigger, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Monty Python and Holy Grail, American Pie, Blazing Saddles, Something About Mary again, and This Is Spinal Tap. What?
People really love There's Something About Mary that much?
That's what I'm saying. I remember watching that when I was younger, and I was like, "This movie, I don't really like this movie. Maybe I need to go back and watch it again."
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like There's Something About Mary to me is synonymous with like the $5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I feel like that was the movie that you would find in there and be like, oh, comedy movies, and it's like There's Something About Mary, Shallow Hal.
I was just gonna say Shallow Hal. Oh man. I was gonna say I feel like there's another one too that's like,
What's that shitty Ryan Reynolds movie where
oh,
he gets skinny and then he like had this high school crush. Oh god, it's always on television when I'm like out at places and I'm like, I've never seen this movie before. Just Friends. While visiting his hometown during Christmas, a man comes face to face with his old high school crush and best friend, a woman whose rejection of him turned him into a ferocious womanizer. And he's in like a fat suit at the beginning of the movie when he's like younger and he has the crush on the girl, and then he like turns into Ryan Reynolds later.
oh. For some reason, I was thinking of Ryan Gosling,
Oh,
and I was like, I cannot think of what movie you're talking about. There's another. I can't remember if it's a Ben Stiller movie and who he's in it with that I always confused with There's Something About Mary.
um, oh god, Yumi and Dupree, is he in that one? No.
I don't think it's that one.
Uh, he.
It might not have been Ben Stiller, but there's one that I could swear, like, it's one of those that reminds me of There's Something About Mary, but like kind of a cheaper version. But I can never remember what it's called.
Along Came Polly.
That, yes. Yes, because that has
Jennifer Aniston.
yep, and
Looks
Philip
like
Seymour Hoffman.
oh, and Alec Baldwin.
I just remember the scene of Philip Seymour Hoffman, and is Ben Stiller in that?
In what?
Along Came Polly?
Yes.
It's him and Philip Seymour Hoffman playing basketball. And
Oh
Philip Seymour
yeah.
Hoffman's always like basically what would essentially be today's version of yelling Kobe and then just bricking shot after shot.
And then they're like playing the dude who's like super sweaty with a hairy back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I always confuse that movie with There's Something About Mary, and in my mind they're just the same movie.
There's some other movie that isn't there like a movie where they parody that? Does one of the Scary Movies parody that later?
It's very possible, but it's just one of those things that I 100% just also associate with being like the $5 bin.
Uh, yeah. There's so many movies that are. I mean, when I think of it today, I'm like, God, you like see a movie and I'm like, this would be in the fucking bin tomorrow.
Yep.
Like, God, that's
it's today's version of that is back in my day when a movie didn't sell well, they threw it in a bin with other bad movies for $5. Today they call that Tubi and it streams.
Yeah,
I really hope people like my recurring old man character, because I like doing it. He's gonna keep coming back.
He's here to stay, guys.
He's here to stay.
Anything else, Ben, about Monty Python? I feel like
Um, I like I said, this show is just hard to talk about without it just divulging into me,
like us talking about our
just
favorite bits,
quoting
because
for hours.
there's not a plot really. Like
No, and it's not a particularly deep and philosophical film.
I
I'd love to come to you with a giant thesis about, how the the oh, what the hell am I looking for here? The rabbit of Kerbanog is, a metaphor for the pearly gates or something, but I don't have anything. I don't have any sort of deep thesis here.
yeah, I mean, I think the deepest we get is the political talk from the peasants,
Mm-hmm.
which that whole even just the intro is so funny. I think they do a great job of putting like joke per minute in this movie.
Which is weird because reading on it were, some of the reviews at the time were like, we kind of talked about the people who said, it's in its whatever greatest movies of all time or whatever, but someone said, I can't remember who. Oh, Siskel of Siskel and Ebert. Quote, it contained about 10 very funny moments and 70 minutes of silence. Too many jokes took too long to set up, a trait shared by both Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. I guess I prefer Monty Python in chunks in its original television review format. You know what also has in common with Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein?
It's one of the greatest comedies of all time.
I fucking love those movies, god damn it. Fuck you, Siskel.
Siskel's like the only person who hates it, and everybody else loves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, no, I see. I think of like with that like the Dennis or whatever, where he's like, old woman, man. Sorry, old man. Who lives in that castle? I'm 37. What? I'm 37. I'm not old. Well, I can't just call you man. Well, you could say Dennis. I didn't know you were called Dennis. Well, you weren't bothered to find out, did you? Like
Yeah.
that whole bit is just so funny. Like the back and forth. Like
I just love but you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some wandering tart threw a sword at you.
the lady of the lake, her arm clad in the pure shimmering salmon, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water.
Yeah, you shouldn't bother to find out. I did say sorry about the old woman, but from behind you look, well, what I object is you automatically treating me like an inferior. Well, I am the king. Oh, very nice. How'd you get that? By exploiting the workers, hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma? it, it is. I do wonder how this was received in Britain when they just basically shat all over the idea of the monarchy. I also read that John Cleese just came up with Tim because he forgot his line.
Yeah, I did see that he like he
By what name are you known? There are some people who call me Tim.
but then he claimed there was no improv in the movie at all. So I guess take that for what you will.
Yeah. Well,
I feel I don't know. I feel like I'm sure there is. Seems like one of those things where they're like, we were just so funny that when we wrote
yeah.
it, it was that good.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, somebody said something funny off the cuff once, right?
At least. At least. That's how some of the best moments in comedy movies are generated.
Yeah, it's just you've said the same thing 5 times. Here's how I can improve it a little bit.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, well,
I can't remember who or what it was that they were talking about where they said someone said there was a director like off screen or whatever who just kept throwing lines at them of things to say like until they found the best one. I can't remember who was talking about it on a like it was like a some talk show where they were talking about it and they're like, "Yeah, I have to give him credit cuz he just sat off screen telling me things to retaliate with until we found the one that worked best." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's just improv.
yeah.
Like that's great. That can lead to great things. You can't tell me sorry. I think even someone as great as Quentin Tarantino as a writer, like I feel like every once in a while someone's going to improv a line that's better than what you wrote.
Or even just actions, you know. It's like the
Yeah.
like DiCaprio breaking the glass in um, Django Unchained, and that was
Yeah.
all like that is improv. You know, it's I think improv is you have the piece where you like come up with a line and something is done off the cuff, but I think part of it is like it's that beauty of the whole working relationship where it's you have these actors and these roles. The camera's here. It's this time of the day. You've been working for 8 hours and you've gone through 5 takes of this, and it's like this magic moment of just pure improvisation works right here, and
Yep.
that's what we get. And it's like, oh, that's the one for the movie. It's like a little mini miracle of all of these people co-working together to give us this part. And I feel like there's a lot of people who hate like claiming that stuff was improv, or there's some people that like to claim they improved everything. It's
Yeah.
it's like I think there is a balance, and I don't think you have to claim
It's a
that you're
collaborative effort.
yeah.
That's what makes it what it is. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we still give a lot to like auteur, like, oh, Tarantino and Nolan are the greatest auteurs when it comes. Well, they also have the best fucking cinematographers and some of the best editors. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, sure, they wrote and directed this movie, but also they
Yeah.
have a
But also they
great team.
work with some of the best actors.
Yeah.
Like
Um, I did. I was gonna bring this up for Mission Impossible. Just one last thing. It fit better in that dialogue, but I've had a bit of a mole saga. Mission Impossible moles, real moles. Um, but yeah, we like moved in, and it wasn't really a problem. And then once it got warmer, obviously, started to see like tracks in the backyard.
ooh.
And so I was like, what could this be? And I was like, I think it's a mole. So I bought the
It's a
little.
it's a pesky gopher.
It is not a gopher. I found out today, which I also didn't think it was a gopher because I read like, oh well, moles do this and moles do that
I'll
and
be honest,
gophers
I
do
just
this.
wanted to reference
You just want
Caddyshack.
you just want to do
So
the Caddyshack reference. Um,
yeah.
well, I bought poison gummy worms. I bought bait that was poisoned. I've tried to smoke them out of the hole with these little sticks of dynamite type shit. I bought a fucking killing trap.
Dylan's about to start planting C4 woodland critters in his backyard.
Jarrett was saying his dad had like a gopher in the yard, and he was just out there with his 22 trying to shoot at their house in Tennessee. It's like, oh, I'm not to that point yet, but I did have to dig a mole corpse out of my yard today.
Ooh.
I got one in the trap, so I
Mm.
have won the battle today. Hopefully, the war as well.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So that's the exciting life of me baking cookies and fighting moles. It's like what's that fucking movie? The Pacifier, with Vin
With Vin
Diesel,
Diesel.
where he's a nanny, but he's also a spy. just me.
I've never heard anyone describe their life as being like the pacifier, the shitty Vin Diesel. I'm a
Oh my god.
super badass, but also a family man. You know, like Vin Diesel in the pacifier.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
God.
also super badass. I just set a trap out in the yard. Hopefully they
I'm
dig their
also
tunnel
super
high
badass.
enough.
I just talked about how I threw poison gummy worms in a hole and it didn't work.
Q didn't give me any good spy tech.
Yeah, your cue is some poor schmuck in Farm and Fleet.
It's Bill down at the Tractor Supply Company.
Yeah. Oh God.
It is funny because I went to Home Depot the other day and I was looking at like pest control type stuff, like to get spiders out of the yard. And there was
Okay.
like spiders and grubs and whatever. And there's like some other
Yeah.
grandma there. She's like, I'm trying to read the instructions. I was like, yeah, me too. And she's like, I got moles. I was like, dude, tell me about it. And me and this old lady had like a 5-minute conversation about our mole problems.
Have you ever seen the pacifier? It's a tour de force.
Have you seen the pacifier? It's kind of like our lives.
It's kind of like who I am as a person.
I should make that like my Instagram bio. If the pacifier was a person.
Oh.
Describe yourself in 3 words. The Pacifier 2006 or whatever that movie came out.
Family man ... pacifier.
Spy.
Oh.
Oh man. Well, I had never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Ben had. So I'm gonna go first and give you like a fresh rating. Watching this movie that is now, oh boy, 50 years old. Giving you my first watch, my first impression. I liked it. Like I said, I feel like I don't, and especially now as a parent, you don't have that much free time. If you want to watch something new, you kind of got to just do that. You don't really get to go back and forth and watch like things you love unless you're really feeling that. And so like I don't get to just watch too many just pure comedy movies without any of the frills, the drama, the horror, like all that. Like this is just, it's kind of fantasy. Doesn't really matter that much. Like it's just the plot is just a device to get us from sketch to sketch. We kind of talk about this with some movies where it's like Top Secret, where like the plot exists to get you to the next bit. Except the bits here are 5-minute sketches or 10-minute sketches. I think this movie, and maybe it's just like I didn't watch it when I was younger, so I don't have the same like nostalgia to it like that some people do. Because I know like I was reading some reviews and some people are like, oh man, when I watch this movie today, I can still hear my dad, who's passed, laughter at the parts that he loved. And I'm like, that's amazing. And I don't have that with this movie because I have never seen this movie before, but like I feel like that hypes the movie up a lot for me to go and be like, I laughed at this bit and I laughed at this bit and I thought it was funny, but like I didn't find myself like laugh out loud cackling in this movie, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like I had a lot of like chortles and chuckles. But I'm going to give it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, um, and I like the humor. I like the writing, um, but I feel like it just had this like threshold or this precipice that it's been put on as like the funniest movie of all time, and it's hard to compare because I saw Airplane when I was young. So like to see this in Airplane as like number one and two or like top five, and I'm like, well, I fucking love Airplane, but I also saw Airplane a long time ago, and like I have that nostalgia love of Airplane. So I can't say the same about this movie, and I don't know if that's just that like I have no attachment to it to then go be like, oh, I love this movie, but it's good. Um, I'm glad I watched it. Uh, Having never seen it, I feel like it's one of those movies that you hear about and it's so quoted and so quotable that I feel like it's a beloved movie, and I'm glad I got to see it on the podcast. I would recommend it.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like I saw seeing this like when I was 17 probably does stand out more to me. Like I said, we talked about doing it last week, and as soon as we talked about doing it, I was still able to quote several things. I think I immediately was like, is it an African swallow or a European swallow? Hmm, can a swallow carry a coconut? And I think I said something about the knights who say knee immediately, and Dylan was just like, "Oh fuck, like you're one of them." God damn it. Um, and what's weird is I've only seen this movie one time, but that's just how really quotable this movie is. Like I just feel like it is very very much something that you can just kind of go back to and quote and enjoy. This is a turn on and check out. Like this is a great movie of just like uh background noise. You could kind of just turn this on and be like, okay, and then one of my favorite parts is coming up, so I'm gonna sit down and watch this for a
Yeah,
minute, and then all right, okay, I might go into cleaning or organizing or doing something else, and then one of my next favorite moments is coming up. I'm gonna sit down and watch this for a couple minutes. But also it feels like a quick movie.
yeah,
It does not feel long at all. I mean, heck, I think I had to take a quick break to check in on my son and that, and I paused and I was like, oh yeah, I've got like a half hour left, and then I sat down and do whatever, and I was like, oh shit, it's already over. That half hour went quick.
yeah. I didn't
I'm
have
like,
that. I didn't have that joy. I watched on Peacock with like 8 commercial breaks, so
I
I
mean, I
really
watched on
just
Prime and it did have a couple ad breaks, but
they
I
just
said
put
there
them
were
in the middle of
none.
movies now on Prime.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh god, I fucking hate Amazon. I mean, Peacock
Um,
was worse, but
I mean, it did have some in the beginning, and I don't know, maybe it was because I switched TVs during.
hmm,
I had to come from watching downstairs to watching upstairs. Maybe that's why I restarted it when I returned the movie on. It
yeah,
played, but yeah, I enjoy it. It's highly quotable. Um, I give it an 8 out of 10. This, like I said, is it has that feeling for me of being a movie that you. It's just like if we made a movie of collections of bits of us talking about you being the pacifier and just other nonsensical shit we've talked about. We're just like, we should put this into a movie and just find a way to make it fit, and
yeah,
then just made it and enjoyed it. Like that's what this feels to me. Is it does just feel like something that was a group of people having fun and just kind of enjoying the process of making something. And I feel like we don't get that, and when we do, it's just buried. Um,
yeah. I feel Well, I feel like if I had to say today, you get uh I don't know, some of the Lonely Island stuff.
Yeah.
Um, you get like Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson. You get I would say Derek Comedy, but they don't really do anything together anymore. Broken Lizard, but when did Super Troopers 2 come out?
Well, I mean, they've been
2020?
doing. They just wrapped. I mean, they did like 3 seasons of that Tacoma FD.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They had that. What is it? Quasimodo or something that came out that went straight to Hulu.
Oh, was that a animated series?
No, it was a
No.
live
Oh,
action.
never heard of that.
Like I said, it went straight to Hulu.
Mm.
I haven't watched it yet. They got Brian Cox is back. he's in it with him. Um, but yeah, I mean, the issue is so many of those go straight to, you know,
Yeah.
they're not really pushed and promoted.
No. Workaholics guys. I don't know what their fucking group is called, but
I don't know that they necessarily have a group
a
name
name.
other than
The
being the
three dudes that do
Workaholics.
the digital shorts for SNL
Oh,
now.
please don't destroy. Which is another one I do want to watch. I do want to watch their movie. I have a feeling that would give me kind of a similar vibe.
Uh,
Just of friends making bullshit fun movies.
yeah. Which
But
I I mean those are the I feel like the best movies is like
they're the best comedies to me.
yeah.
Like I said, even like the Mel Brooksian, like shit's just off the wall, and it was just shit that we thought would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Like that to me is the best type of comedy because it's not exclusionary. It's not comedy at someone's expense. It's almost like it's inviting you in to be in on the joke. Um, yeah, I like this movie. I'd give it an 8. I think its quotability alone definitely buys it its spot as one of the greatest comedies. And even though it is kind of a collection of sketches and offputs that tie into an overarching movie, I mean, haven't we seen that with other movies though that people love? I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of movies that do like here's some vignettes that are going to kind of loosely tie into the full story of a movie and then it's like, "Oh my god, this is phenomenal."
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it. If you've not seen it, it's worth a watch, especially if you love off the wall absurdist comedy. Um if you've enjoyed some of our other recommendations with things like Top Secret or Airplane or other movies of that vibe, then this is one that will be right up your alley.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you liked any of the Mel
Yeah,
Brooks, the fucking I can't even remember the brothers' names, but the guys
yeah,
at Airplane, Top Secret, like this fits in that
100%.
similar time
Naked
frame, but
Gun, a lot of those, yeah.
oh god, yeah, Nick. Um, yeah, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Check out our other episodes. Like we said, we have a bunch of reviews of comedy movies on there. Um, share us with your friends and family. Leave a review wherever you listen or a rating. That really helps us out. And as always, watch responsibly.